Welcome back to Grit Gym. Today we're talking about health. Just like always, health comes down to the biggest resource that you possibly have. We're actually talking about a few different things. We're talking about responsibility. We're talking about mindset. It's Monday, so we're kind of trying to get in gear, trying to get ready for the rest of the week that's coming at us, and so that we can be right here today, so we can get the most done, so that we can live our lives the way that we want, to inspire the experience that you want to have in this life, right? To break your own status quo, to break down the obstacles that are stopping you from getting to where you want to go. If you're coming on the show right now, post comments or post questions, statements, whatever in the comment section below, and I will respond to every single one of them. If I don't respond in the video, I'm definitely going to respond down below. I respond to every single one of them, but health is your greatest resource in this life. You have to take care of it. Everything depends on your health. Your ability to make money depends on your health. Your ability to enjoy your relationships, your ability to be productive with your time, your everything goes back to your health. Your health is and your health, if you want to make your health great, well then you got to get real good with your exercise. You got to get real good with your nutrition. You got to be constantly improving towards these things, to improving your exercise, improving your nutrition, improving your mindset, and getting good recovery methods within all of those, because recovery is where all of the magic happens, right? So we've got three things. We got three things that we're going to do, the three things that we really want to hammer on, three intentions you're going to work hard to improve today. You're going to focus on the present priority, and you're going to be a positive influence to those around you. And always ask yourself the two questions before you do anything. Are you going to be all in today? Are you going to be all in with you today? Are you going to do your absolute gut-wrenching best, or are you going to be afraid that you're not enough today? Because the default to your daily habits is always going to be that not enough stuff. Sometimes you might change that, but if you set the intention to be all in, to do the absolute best that you possibly could, not the cop-out best that your teacher asked you to do. Oh, Johnny did his best. No, your real absolute best that terrifies us on a deep, deep, deep level. But what we're talking about today is really, it comes down to responsibility. And the thing is that I don't need any scientific proof to know that 100% of your experience happens within your head. That's the biggest sentence that you need to take away from today. I could just stop this video right now and just let that be the presentation. I don't need any scientific proof, and neither do you, to know that 100% of your experience happens within your head, within your mind, between your ears, right here. Every bit of your experience happens right there. That's the big thing. That's the big takeaway for today. It has to be 100% your experience. You have to take responsibility for 100% of your experience, because that 100% of what is going on right now that you're experiencing right now, you're watching me, right? You're watching me do a presentation on responsibility, and you are developing an experience off of this, and you're building that off of the foundation of everything that you've learned so far in your life. And it's coming to now. It's coming to right now, which is a pretty cool thing. But you do not need any scientific proof to know that 100% of your experience happens within your mind, and neither do I. You know that for sure. And the thing is, when we take health, we take wealth, we take relationships, and we take time. Those are four great resources, right? If we look at any of these things, they are on us. They are our responsibility to make sure that those things happen the way that we want them to happen in our life. A lot of people think that it's selfish to go after wealth. A lot of people think it's selfish to go to the gym. And a lot of people think that you're selfish with your time if you do things that they don't think that they're enough to do. I'm going to talk more about that here in a second. And if you have a really great relationships, people get jealous of that. Oh, isn't that ridiculous? If you have a really great relationship, people get jealous of that because they don't think that their relationship is enough. So you got to get clear with all of these things, and the biggest thing that I want to get across there is already that point right there. But how it feeds into your health, how it feeds into your wealth, how it feeds into your relationships, how does it feed into your time? These are four great resources. Health is the greatest, and then you can put the others in the order that you want. I would say health is the greatest, and then relationships probably, and then time, and then wealth, I think, for most people. But giving each one of these their attention is extremely important. And no matter what, no one else is responsible for making sure that you have money. No one else is responsible for your health. No one else is responsible for how you allot your time, and no one else is responsible for your relationships. It all comes back. Mine all come back to me, yours all come back to you. I'm not trying to say that there aren't bad things that happen and or unfortunate events, of course, but if it's going to be, it's up to me. If it's going to be, it's up to you in your life. So health. The thing with health, the thing that I find most interesting about health is the status quo is that if you go to the gym, if you spend a lot of money on a personal trainer, if you people think that going to a personal trainer is vain, or they think that if you want to look and feel good, that's vain and selfish. And if you spend all your time and your money going to, or not all your time and all your money, but if you spend money and you go to a gym and you spend your time and you do this stuff instead of doing the 100% always mom thing, or the 100% always dad thing, or always going to the family thing, or always putting everybody else in front of your health, they think that that's selfless. No, that is the greatest, most selfish thing that you can possibly do. It is not selfish to pay for a gym membership. It's not selfish to spend money on you. It is not selfish to look at your health. It is not selfish for you to take the time to go and put in the effort to make sure that your health is where it needs to be. It's not selfish to pay for the more expensive food that's a little bit better for you. It's not selfish to do this. The most selfish thing that you can possibly do is to not take care of your health. Because if you're the parent, then you got to think of your kid. If you're not taking care of your health, what message are you giving to your kid? If you're not taking care of your health, somewhere along the line, someone else is going to have to pick up the pieces and pay for the health that you didn't take care of. So it's extremely important. The most selfish thing that you can possibly do is to not take care of your health. Because at some point you're going to pay for it. At some point you're going to pay for it in the experience of the relationships that you have, because your health isn't going to be able to interact with your grandkids or interact with your kids or interact with the people that you care about just in general. And it's also going to cost you more money in the end when you are getting needs replaced because you carried too much weight around for too long, or you're having all these health issues because of the diet that you held for so long, eating Hot Pockets and snack packs. It's not an expense. To put money down for your health is not an expense. It cannot be looked at as an expense. If you are Teresa says at some point someone else will. True. Thanks, Teresa. I always like it when you guys come on the show. It's really interesting talking to people in real time. If you guys can please take the time to hit the share button, and then I'll be live on your page and on my page and on this page, which is kind of cool. But it's not so much to take care of your health. It's not an expense to take care of your health. We have multiple, what do you call them? Stylists, hairstylists, girls that work in a salon that cut hair. I don't know what the actual term is for that. Sorry, guys. But if they're coming to the gym and they're working out with people, then this is another reason why the gym membership is not an expense. If you are in a gym that costs $100, $200 a month, you know that every single person in that gym, if you are a person that does hair that it's expensive to go get your hair cut by, said that funny, but then you have a bunch of qualified buyers that you get to shake hands with. That's not an expense. That's prospecting. That's meeting new people. That's building up your business. That's building up your pipeline. Your gym membership should not be considered an expense ever. It is an extremely important thing. Your health is extremely important. It is the most important thing that you're ever going to have. And when it comes to your relationships, it's the same thing. I don't need scientific proof to know that 100% of my experience is based on what's in my head. And the same thing with you. Everything is based within your head. So to not take care of yourself, it is the most selfish thing, not the other way around. People think it's to go and take care of to go take time for yourself and to go do things by yourself and to go no, you're taking care of you. If you take care of you, you're better at all the things that make you great, and you're a better service. You're going to be a better service to everybody that you care about. But if you don't take care of you, what happens? To not take care of yourself is the most selfish thing that you can possibly do in your relationships. You have to take care of you first. You have to love you first. You have to be all in with you first. You have to do this first, and then you get to share that with somebody else, and then you get to be there for somebody else. But if you don't have that, then you're just this needy asshole that's going to be taken away from everybody else around you. And eventually you're just the negative person that no one wants around. And you push away all the people that you could have helped and could have helped you go to a higher level in a better place in your life. And you would have gained all the people that are miserable and keep you down where you don't want to be. And the same thing happens with your wealth. There's an interesting thing going on right now. And I don't know if it's everywhere, but in Iowa City, there's in my group of contacts or whatever you want to call it, the minimum wage is a really hot topic, and I don't totally understand why. I'm a little bit more towards the libertarian side of the way of looking at things, but still, there's if you're looking at wealth, it's this funny thing to hate on the person who thinks or to hate the person, to call the person selfish that is trying to get more money. If you don't have money to be not gratitude, if you don't have money to hand out to other people or to help people with, then you're going to be kind of gaming the system. You're going to be begging off of the system. You're not going to be able to provide for others in the way that, and the ones that you care about in the way that you want to. So it doesn't make any sense to not go after a certain amount of wealth. You want to get your money in order. It's important. The minimum wage thing is to me, it's the wrong conversation. The conversation that you need to have is the payroll tax and the income tax that happens. For instance, if you the conversation right now is like, should it be 10-10 or should it be $10 an hour? Should it be $15 an hour? Well, at $10 an hour, that's 30%. Let's say it's 30% the government's taking away in income tax, so the employee's walking away with $7, and then the employer has to pay an additional $3 on top of that $10 to the government. So the government gets $6, the employee gets $7. If you took away income tax and you took away payroll tax, then the employee would automatically get $16. It's kind of insane. Then you would there's your minimum wage. And some people come back at me, the conversations I've been in where I posed that as a solution, they said that as a solution and said, well, what are you going to do about income for like the federal government or whatever for taxes? And we know that it's sales tax does not, we have pretty good research, pretty good data on showing that consumerism is not changed or influenced by sales tax. So why not just base it all on consumables? So instead of 6% sales tax, now we're talking like 20, 30% sales tax. I mean, do the same thing they did with cigarettes, only with everything. And all of a sudden, money starts to flow a little bit different. So now you've taken care of, because like me paying my employees, I would love to get all of my employees like $10 raises, but I know the government's gonna find me another. If I'm paying them $15 an hour right now, that's $4.80 that I have to pay back to the government. And if I double that, let's say I add $5 on, that's $6, and that's $7.20 now. The government just fined me for paying my employees a little bit more. So it's this funny thing. But anyway, wealth, it is important. You're responsible for your own wealth. It is extremely important to get a certain amount of money in your life so that you can focus on other things, so you're not stressed out all the time. Remember the recovery thing, your body doesn't differentiate between stress. It can be stress from finances, or it can be stress from a really hard workout, or it can be stress from illness, or it can be stress from a broken leg, or it can be stress from a broken heart. It doesn't really matter. Your body doesn't differentiate between stress. So get your money in order so that you can hire a personal trainer, so that you can do all the things that you want in your life, so that one feeds the other, feeds the other, feeds the other, and all of these really, really good things happen, is the idea in my little utopic world that I'm trying to create. But the whole topic of this of this presentation is based on this idea that you do not need any scientific proof to know that 100% of your experience happens within your mind. It doesn't, you're in a situation, emotional eating, you can go back to this, fights with your significant other, you can go back to this. Why did you consider yourself not enough? There's something about being embarrassed. I hear the word embarrassed quite a bit. People are embarrassed to walk into a gym. People are embarrassed to look stupid doing an exercise. People are embarrassed to, perform their absolute best. Okay, well, two things there. One, why would you consider your absolute best to be embarrassing? If you did your absolute best, why would you go to that not enough stuff? If embarrassment is the situation, if you're feeling embarrassed, why are you going to that being afraid that you're not enough stuff? You are enough to do your absolute gut-wrenching best, right? So do that. Two, if you are embarrassed, do something about it. If weight is an issue for you, well, then you're in the right place going into the gym. If you're going to feel embarrassed walking into a gym, you're at least in the right place. Now we can do something about it. Nutrition, you can do something about it. If you are embarrassed about something, you have two options. You have two things that need to happen. One, acknowledge what's the it's an error to have that fear. of not being enough, and that you are enough to do your absolute gut-wrenching best. And then the second thing is do something about it. You have the courage. You're taking the first step. If you weren't embarrassed, there might be something else going on in there. What's up, guys? Anyway, so health, wealth, relationships, time. Nobody but you is responsible for these things. Health, wealth, and relationships. If you are not selfish, they're the most selfish thing that you can do in these scenarios is to not take care of them. And status quo right now in the United States, and most people, if you get in conversation with them, they would say the direct opposite of that. They would say that it's selfish to take time to go to the gym. It's selfish to walk away from your kids and to not to leave them with your partner and go to the gym. It's selfish to hoard your money until you have enough and you have your finances in order and you've grown your income to a point where you can actually give back. You can be I'm trying to say gratitude, but that's the wrong word. What's the G word where you give a lot of money away, or you are gracious? Isn't the right word either. Anyway, if you guys can help me out with that, I would really appreciate it. But if you can't provide for the ones that you care about, you can't provide for you, then you're a drain. In relationships, if you do not take care of yourself, how are you going to be in the relationship? It's not gonna work. The whole idea in a relationship that you're gonna take care of somebody else. Generosity. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Teresa. Yes, being generous. That was one of the things that my grandpa said something to me one time, and I really wish I could remember verbatim what he said. But it was basically, just in a few words, it was just like, wow, I will always be extremely generous with my time, with my money, with my energy, with everything that I have. I will be extremely generous. But if you're going to be generous, then you have to have something to give. There's this part I was actually watching ER. You guys remember that show? ER with my mom when I was a little kid. And it was when, I wasn't a little kid. I might have been a teenager, but one of the doctors had cancer and he ends up dying, obviously. They wrote him off the show. And he tells his daughter, be gracious with your time, or be generous with your time, be generous with your money. And I think he said, be generous with your love. And that's always stuck with me a lot. Like, why would you want to hoard those things? But at the same time, you have to have them first. You have to be giving them to yourself first. And if you don't give them to yourself first, if you don't show the next generation how to give them to yourself first, then we've got a big problem, because then you don't have anything to give. And I think a lot of people, me being middle class mindset, that we think that we have a lot of money because we have it better off than really poor people, but it's not really the case. Like, until you have money coming in that you are earning while you sleep, which I know, then that's going to be kind of hard to create enough wealth that you can be extremely generous in your life. Until you have the amount of money that you can spend on a personal trainer or a mechanic for your car or someone to come and fix your house or even to go out to eat every once in a while, then you probably don't have enough money to be generous with your money. You've got to have those things so that you can live that healthier lifestyle, because the healthier lifestyle is going to get you all the other things that you want to. But anyway, that's my little spiel on you don't need any scientific proof to know that 100% of your of your experience happens within your head, and you are responsible for everything in your health, everything in your wealth, everything in your relationships, and every way that you manage. I don't want to say manage time. Just sounds so boring. Has anybody ever done any time management stuff? It sounds so boring. Like, I don't want to, like, when I look at time, like, I don't want to manage time. I don't want to, like, be like, oh, well, now I got to do this. What I want to do is I want to try to compress time as far as I possibly can, so that, because time is just distance divided by speed, right? So if I can go faster in shorter distances, then I increase the amount of time that I have. Now I've become a commander of time, that I created time rather than I'm at the whim of time, if that makes sense. So I want to be extremely selfish with my time and cram it into a small, tiny space and hit that as hard as I possibly can. It does not add, it doesn't add quality to something to make it longer. Like, oh, I did my workout for 4 hours. Well, you just got a crappy workout. If you would have slammed that down into 55 minutes, we would have had a good workout. The same thing, so that's my little deal on time. You're responsible for that. And the way that I do that is I use one of these every 30 minutes, actually every 15 minutes. So I put a task, write a line, put a task, write a line, put a task. That's what I know that I'm doing throughout the day so that I can stay focused, so that I can push forward to being where I want to be. So health, it is not selfish to get to the gym. It's not selfish to spend money on a personal trainer. It's not selfish to do those things. It is extremely selfish to not take care of your health. Someday your kids are going to have to spend money on you because you did not take care of your health today. Someday you're going to miss out on all the relationships, all the experiences that you could have had you kept up with your health today. And you would have had more experiences while you were in this moment because you took care of your health today. So not taking care of your health is the most selfish thing that you can possibly do. Not taking care of your wealth and gaining money and finding ways that you can make money while you sleep is the most selfish thing that you can do. Not taking care of yourself so that you can be better in your relationship, better for those that you care about, is the most selfish thing that you can possibly do. And not trying to compress time down steals from everybody else that you know. It steals their time too, and it's the most selfish thing that you can possibly do. So anyway, that's my little spiel. Please, guys, if you can help me out a little bit and hit the share button, send this out to everybody that you know. The obscurity is our biggest issue. It's hard to get people. It's not hard to get people to know who you are, or for Grit Gym to grow. But word of mouth is absolutely the best way to do it. That's how we grew from the very beginning. We've never really done any kind of traditional advertising. We never put up a billboard. We bought T-shirts and tried to make cool T-shirts because we thought they were neat. But we never have done any traditional advertising. But obscurity is always our biggest issue, and we just want to put like my goal in this world. My big goal, my big plan is to. Cool shirts help. Played Against Sports has some pretty cool shirts too. But my big goal in this world is to help 1 billion people. I want to help over 1 billion people at some point, and there's no way. I actually added it up. If I were to shake, if I were to just shake 1 billion people's hands, that would take and each shake only took 1 second. That would take like 30 years or something. I don't remember what the actual numbers were, but I'm pretty sure they're around 30 years. So I don't have enough time to shake 30 million or to shake 1 billion people's hands, but you guys can help me out with that by sharing this video. Anyway, thanks for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow with Rachel, and I don't know what we're talking about yet. If you have suggestions, please put them down below. Thanks, guys. Talk with you soon.